to do, my people? You know, this is Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you, another one from season 3, theories and predictions stream. Right, that's what we're doing here. And I am not alone. As you can see, I am with the beautiful Anna from the Red Lipstick Club. What's up, Anna?
Hi, Tony. Hi, chat. Hey, everyone. I'm back.
You are back. It's about time. It's about time. You haven't been on for a little while. I haven't seen you in a little while. But it's great to see you back finally. Elamar should be joining us. I do believe that she will be here. She's just running a little late. Really, it's my fault and stuff, so I can't. So do not blame her. I'm trying to see something here real quick on this thing. This is not the stream. I gotta change something in the chat. But 1 second, people. I'm going to get this thing popping. And while I do that, Anna, tell the people about yourself who have not had a chance, who don't know about you. Let them know.
Well, there's a lot of new people in the chat, but if you guys don't know me, I first started chatting with Tony when he was doing his Lovecraft Country pre-shows and after shows during like the COVID period where we were not leaving our houses, and basically saved my life. Then I stumbled across his After Dark, and then Tony says, well, you used to jump on this After Dark. And then fast forward weeks, then I just became Tony's co-host for the After Dark shows. And usually we'd get Phil on there too, to host with us. And that became kind of popular. And then as we got back into life, we haven't been able to do that as much, but it's a great time. So sometimes when we do some shows like this, Tony will have me on just like a surprise. It's like a surprise guest.
It is. It's a blessing. And it's a blessing. And Elamar just hit me up, says she has a couple login issues. You'll be here in a second, so we'll have Elamar here too. And we have some good two grown viewers saying she is beautiful. They have not seen you before. She sure is. You know what I mean? What up, everyone? Let's say what up to some people here. Fred Grace is in the building, rocking with us. Lady Stoneheart and Kimmy G says, "Hey Anna, great to have you back on the stream." Scraggle Tape says, yo, where's that hippie at now? You would have to ask him. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a couple of days. I'm sure he'll be. Anisha is saying, good to see you. Erica is saying, hi. KP is like, Mia Dia. I don't know what that means. It's something.
Yeah, me neither. But hopefully it's good.
It's trying to be sexy. That's what we try. The phone line is open. If you want to call in, 518-290-0848. Listen, I'm calling hitting on Anna, nothing like that. You know what I mean? You want to call in and talk about the show. You call in and talk about the show. All right? That's what it's about. Anna, you have watched the show. How did you think this season was?
So if I were to compare it to the first season, I thought the first season was scarier than this season was. I think this season was trying to include a lot more puzzles and riddles. It just felt like it had it was trying to take you down multiple paths. It felt like there were a lot more red herrings in this season compared to season 1. I think season 1 felt more like a little bit more horror, a little bit more gore. And this one felt more like thriller, if that makes sense. So I mean, even though it's the same show, was it just me, or did it feel a little bit like a different show?
They seem like they went, they were trying to, let's say, I think a lot of people thought they were going to answer a lot of questions, and I thought they probably answered a lot of questions that were there from season 1, then asked some more for season 2. But I would say it didn't have the same, horror aspect in the beginning that we initially got with it. We got a lot of character building. And I think you have to. When you have a bus full of people, you got to get to know these characters also. You got to try to care about some of them. Did you think they did a good enough job to make you care about some of these new characters?
Yes and no. I think some of the characters added to the story and they were featured a lot, so you couldn't help but care what they were doing. But just in my opinion, it's almost like there were too many characters introduced to keep almost all of them until the end of the season.
Yeah, I didn't care about any one of these. There's no one who could have died in season that came off that bus that I would have gave an F about.
No, I wouldn't have been sad. I'm trying to think of who I would have been. And would have been sad about losing, where it would have been like devastating to me, or I would have felt like losing that cast member all of a sudden changes some huge trajectory. Like Marielle, for instance, the whole taking care of the girlfriend that's trying to get off drugs, that storyline for me, it played out after like number one. I think if they would have kept it on the track where she was kept like stealing things or like, you know what I'm saying, constantly putting them in danger, that would have been more entertaining than watching her detox. Yes. I didn't need to watch this many episodes of her detoxing. I think the storyline for her would have been better if, number one, they would have had more of a love triangle where it became almost dangerous. Or she was like stealing and making things like, it just was no real danger element. It was like you caught her that one time and then it was over.
Yeah, I think they could have went into making Marielle a threat to Kenny. Like, she, instead of trying to steal shit for herself, make her try to kill Kenny. Make her trying to get at Kelly. You know what I mean? It could have been a situation like that I wish that they would have done something more like that with the character. Who knows? They could go in, but I don't give a hell about nothing about Marielle. She could go.
No.
Randall can go. I mean, the Tilly can go. The black lady, I would have liked to learn more about her, but she can go too. Yeah, Bacta. She could go to. There's nothing there. They didn't do anything to me, to any of these characters, to make me care about any one of these characters. I don't give a F about any of them. Bella Save, thank you for the super chat. She says, did you notice Victor's drawing of Julie and his lunchbox when he gave it to Tabitha? Yes, I did. I actually have the picture of it with a comparison picture so you could know exactly. So there is a picture of Tabitha in that lunchbox with them. Of Julie in the lunchbox. So why do you think that is in there, Anna?
Why do I think it's in there? Something about carrying your children with you, like almost like, because I'm thinking when she's had this like crossover, right? I'm waiting to see what she has with her. So like maybe when she's if she still has that lunchbox with her in this hospital, will that picture look different?
I think that if we look at it, and I'll give theories because this is what I do, I think it's when we look at what Victor says when he draws pictures to remember. That's why he draws them. I counter it to Memento. If you ever seen that movie Memento, have you seen that movie Memento back in the day? What was that Guy Ritchie? It's about a guy who lost his memory. He couldn't remember one, like every 30 seconds he would lose his memory. It was like quick like that. Every 30 seconds or something like that, he loses memory. So he would get tattoos and stuff. He would take pictures of people and then write, don't trust this guy. You could trust this person, blah, blah. Because after 30 seconds, he had no idea. Everyone's a stranger and everything. He had no idea what he was doing or why he was doing it and everything else. It was a Christopher Nolan movie. One of his first movies, I think.
50 First Dates. It's worse than 50 First Dates.
Yeah, so I look at it like that. So what must mean that Tabitha may not have her memory right now. You know, she may be out there with no memory while in the hospital.
Do you think it's that, though, because she jumped towards the window like she knew she wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like she was looking for Fromville. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when she got out the bed, she didn't have like the response of someone that's like, why am I in a hospital? Like people that are in the hospital, their first instinct isn't to go look out the window. You're at a hospital. But if you think you're supposed to be somewhere else, you would look out to see, hey, if I look outside here, is it different or what? I don't know.
Well,
I think
Hey, I'm so happy that you're here.
Yeah. And Elamar is in the building. When Elamar is in the building, you know what it is. The luckiest man in the world to be surrounded by these two beautiful women. Let me put them on the highlight and let me put myself down here so that they can be highlighted on top and everything else and all that. Elamar, how are you?
I'm good. I'm always better when I'm here, and this was very much needed today. So
all right, we got our first phone call. Let's take it. and see what I think. Let's see what it is.
Call from.
John Henderson.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
What's going on? You're on with the Don Tony Teflon, the Lady Ella Mar, and Anna. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is John Henderson. What's up, Tony? Hey, Lamar. Hey, Lady Anna. I'm calling from San Diego. So I know you guys were talking about Victor. So I was kind of like looking at Victor's character, the way they read him. I don't think the town is affecting Victor, why he has to draw things. I think Victor might be special needs. So he has to draw things to actually do remember. So there's a lot of things that he don't know because he can't really put it into words. So he had to draw it out, and then he might just forget about it and draw something else.
Well, he says that what we've seen in the show is that he has a lot of trauma. Like so much trauma that it made him forget his sister, right? He didn't even remember he had a sister. And he says specifically that he draws things just because he forgets. He's forgetful. I'll take Anna. What do you think about that, what this caller is saying?
I don't know. He could be neurodivergent because he really seems to gravitate towards music and, seems like he's, there's usually like your IQ is really high, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have the greatest social skills. So I don't know if that's the case or not. They haven't really made that evident. But like you said, Tony, it could. He basically was frozen at the age of like what, 8 years old. Yeah. He didn't really develop. He wasn't going to school.
Yeah, I just can't see how Victor had all this time to become a better artist, and that's the best he can draw, even with crayons.
Elamar, do you think Victor should have better crayon drawing skills?
Wow, yeah, that's a good point with the drawing skills. No, I do agree with him being either neurodivergent or special needs. I do have close what should I say, relation when it comes to or connection to that. I can see him not only being traumatized by what happened, but also we did see him just for a little bit, right? Before everything hit the fan, right? When he was young still, when everything was fine. And he seemed okay-ish to me. We see him being, in a situation, okay, stay here, don't move, watch your sister. That's as far as we saw him, but he didn't seem very much off, that he had any issues. Then he might be though. So yeah, I can see both points.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for the phone call, bro. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you. I'll have a good one.
You too.
You too.
All right. Again, you can call in, let call in. You know the number. It's on the crawl and everything else. I want to let you people know before we get this. Someone calls in or something like that, because y'all people bother me with this alien shit, saying it's not aliens when we know it is. All right. So what I did was I got an expert. I went and found an expert who knows about this stuff, who's undisputable. And I asked him. He watched the show. And then I asked him specifically, I said, what is going on in this show? And this is what he told me.
Extraterrestrial.
Well, you gotta listen when he says a
You have no choice, because we know that he is an expert, and you heard what that man just said.
Right.
Yeah, there's no denying. So none of us, all right? This is an expert. All right, we have no qualifications but that dude. And when I asked him, I said, what's going on in this show, sir? He told me. And so that's it. All right. We have the proof.
He said it twice, right?
Yes, sir. We have the proof now. We have the proof. I don't want to hear it anymore from you. All right. We got another call coming in. Let's take this call. This is from 848-804.
Tamara Gillespie. To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
What's the deal? You're on live with the Don Tony Teflon, Lady LMR, and the beautiful Anna. Please let us know your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, it's Tamara from Richmond. Hey, ladies. Hey, Don.
Hey, Tamara.
I just wanted to ask you guys if you thought that it was. I was thinking about like how Stranger Things had like these, like they had kids in a certain area. Do you think that Victor maybe started off or ended up that way when they started doing experiments? Like, maybe there was that serial killer guy, Chris, that killed everyone. He had to hide, and then they decided to experiment in that area and leave Victor there. I don't know.
What do y'all ladies think about that?
I'm not sure. I mean, when it comes to
Wasn't that
experimenting,
bad?
no, not at all.
Because I'll tell you what made me think
Yeah.
about that. He said this is home, right? He's never been anywhere. When the photos were taken, it was him, and it seemed like someone took a photo of the guy, the crazy guy, and it did not seem like there were monsters around then. So I'm feeling like something had to develop. I do agree with you that there are like, aliens or some other species, but if this is almost like a Chernobyl area where they're like, okay, well, let's just use this space, and this kid is here, his family's gone, maybe the sister isn't, but let's just use this space to create like a Truman Show kind of experiment, Stranger Things kind of thing all around him.
To kind of study also him. I'm not study. Well, I guess study, but do you think that they are just studying like would he be part of that? I mean, do you think that he's the majority of their experiment or no? Like because you mentioned Truman Show, so that was centered around one person, right?
Oh, did she hang up?
I think I think so.
I think she might have thought so.
I think that's pretty interesting theory though to compare it to like Chernobyl, and maybe because it kind of feels like they're stuck in like a simulation or something, and it's almost like well how far can you push people, and not necessarily like Chernobyl, but like if you put people in the most dire of situations and you start taking away resources or giving them certain resources, how do these people react to that? I mean, I could, and also too, there's like no electricity so it almost feels like a simulation because it's like.
I think it's a little bit old. I think we're definitely dealing with a Truman Show-esque that if you will look at that someone is pulling the strings of everything. I think we're definitely dealing with that. Yeah. I think we're definitely dealing with an experiment, that this is an experiment, and that there is a mole in town that's in on this whole thing that's hanging out there. You know what I mean? But I think everyone's just looking at the wrong mole in there. But
hands in pockets mole, or which one?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think people think Don is the mole. But I think it could be somebody else that people are just overlooking. But it's a good check. She said she was cut off, so maybe she's calling back. We'll see. Unknown incoming call. I don't know if I trust this. We'll give him a
call
chance.
From Chico. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's going on? You're on with the Don, Tony Teflon, Lady Lamar, and Anna.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's Luna.
It's who?
Luna Lovegood.
Luna.
Oh, what's going on? Luna, you got me nervous. It's this call unknown. I know what's going on here.
It's an international call.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you for being our first international call. What's going on, Lou?
Okay. So I personally think Victor's been out. I think he's gotten out before, and that's how he knows that he needs to like draw, because he got out. He probably seen his sister, and she didn't remember him, because they never talk about. He never found his sister's body. He only found his mom. I think I'll go. My theory on it is that they killed his mom, but his mom pushed his sister through the tree before she killed him.
Like the sister runs after the mom. That's what we see. We don't know if they actually do link up, but if they did, and knowing mothers, if this guy was coming to kill them, I think in everyone we've ever seen use the faraway tree with someone, the person who knew what it does always goes second. All right. It's been like that the whole show. The person who knows what the tree does goes second. When Boyd went in there, Sarah went there, waited for him to go. You know, anyone you go through, they always go second. So I think that it's a good chance that she puts the daughter through and she got killed on the outside. What do y'all ladies think?
That's something that a mother would do, I guess. But then where is she, right? Like, we haven't seen her, so maybe she did get out somewhere.
Secrets. He knows so much that he's just not divulging.
Huh.
And also, like, I think too, with are all these wormholes, I guess what we're gonna call them,
That's what they are
they all the same? Like, is the one that's at the watchtower, is that a wormhole? Is it the same as all the other ones? And when you push people through, is it that you don't know where you're going to, like, you don't know where you're going to land? It's a catch-22. Who knows?
Yeah. So what you got anything else for us, Luna? We love to hear something else for
No, I would have been dead the first day.
Same.
I definitely wouldn't have made it.
I don't know. I think you would have made it, Luna. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. You're dumb.
Especially at the time when we see the Matthews family joining, right? There's nothing that could, you'll be safe. You'll be fine. You just had a choice, the town or the house.
I'm not much of a survivalist, so.
Yeah, you ain't got to be though, Anna. They ain't letting you die.
They would protect you. Don't worry.
Like, let's get this girl in here. She's not going anywhere. She's not going. We got her. Luna, you got anything else for us?
No, that's it. Thanks so much, you guys. I
Thank
love
you, Luna.
watching you.
Thanks,
I'm
Luna.
addicted.
We love you. We love you
Thank you
on the
so
chat. And definitely call back in.
Yeah,
Good night.
loved it.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. We'll keep her on long if it's an international call. I don't want her getting your
Yeah.
money.
We don't need no $100 phone fee.
Right.
Yeah, listen, I used to hit my mom with those when I back in the day on the MTV talk line, party line and shit.
Oh, wow.
$2,000 phone bill and shit. And boy, that's when I
Oh
just
my
ran out the house. I just ran out. She never paid it. I mean, she always just screamed at the guy. My son was a juvenile was doing this. There's no way. It's got out every time. But
Oh, wow.
they used to come. Anyone who's old enough knows about those damn party lines. That's before you could do this. This is the only way you can actually chat to people, and it was just a mess in there and everything else and all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
do remember.
So as we continue on about from season 3, what is a question that you wish that they answer in season 3? Oh, we have another call coming in right away. All right, let's take this call. This is 806. I think that is KP.
Call from
Steph Snow.
No.
to accept, press.
What up, Steph Snow? You are on with the Don Tony Teflon, Lady Lamar, and Mexico.
Hello, hi Tony, hi everyone.
Hey.
Okay, so I have like 2 or 3 notes written down. Okay, so the first thing is I've been watching all your videos, and that guy Karen was crazy. He blew my mind. And I just wanted to know what your guest thought about Donna being like this witch spider energy and like the whole tarot thing. You guys have any thoughts?
All right, let's go through that real quick. The witch aspect. Anna, you're the guest.
Crazy.
Anna, you're the guest here. What do you think? You think that they're witches and this is some type of magical situation going on there, or what?
Well, I thought for the longest that I honestly just thought this was like a computer or a video game,
Mm-hmm.
and that each of these are levels, and that you would have, these games are advanced now, so they have really developed storylines for them. So I would not be shocked if there was some voodoo, witchcraft aspect of what's happening here, like conjuring up things, especially kind of how it was set up in that tower. Was that the tower or the cave where they had them like all the kids in a circle.
Yeah,
Okay,
it seemed like it was a cave.
mhm.
It seemed
Yeah.
like it was a cave.
And the way they had that set up, it almost
It was-
looked like one of those situations where like a
I thought-
blood moon or something would come above.
I
Felt like
made
that.
it scary, but I thought it was a little out there. And then I just had two other quick notes. So I recently was in the hospital, and like Tabitha in that hospital was crazy. Like I agree with you. Never let anyone just like jump out of there. So some people were saying, you know, that like the picture was like a simulation outside the window, or it was just like bad CGI, or I don't know what it was, but I definitely thought it was some sort of simulation, and whether she was in Maine, like, did it really hold any weight? So I was kind of curious about what the panel thought about that. And a lot of people were comparing it to Lost, and I haven't watched Lost, and I'm wondering if you're maybe thinking about doing a Lost watch through on your channel.
I haven't watched Lost. I could do that if asked. I'll do it if people watch. I'm with it to do it. Elamar, what do you think about what she said?
I actually have not seen Lost either. I just heard things about it. And as far as the hospital, if speaking of a simulation, if it is a simulation, it must be the same kind as that they were in the Fromville or Fromtown. It must be really good, and she can go outside and actually touch things. It reminds me a little bit that moral theory. It reminds me of the show called Upload. I'm not sure if any of you saw it. It's after somebody dies, or as they're dying, their consciousness can be transferred into this or uploaded into this virtual reality, and they're living their life. But when you look at it, when you turn a leaf over, it says, I think, property of whatever. It's like, in print, it's a company, but it's your afterlife. So yeah, simulation. That would be very high tech, and like Tony said, it's who knows, aliens, and that, because we definitely don't have that kind of technology for that.
Listen,
So,
I didn't say it was aliens. The experts said.
Extraterrestrials.
And he said it so nicely too. You have to believe him.
He's the expert on this stuff. I'm the expert. I'm just going by what the expert is saying.
I think too. I wish that.
And then I just had one last little comment.
Yep.
It was about Scott McCord. So he's been getting a lot of sort of chatter on the internet for Best Emmy Supporting Actor. I just wanted to know if you guys thought he's worthy of that, because I think he totally is. And Harold, I heard, is getting Best Actor for Emmy nominations. And do you think that the Emmy nominations would help the channel? And that's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you on that.
Thank you.
Let me just say so. We got 2 Emmy nominated. Harold, Best Actor, and who's supporting actor?
Scott.
Scott. All right. So I obviously I want this is my show. I want those people to win, no doubt about it. But I have to look at the competition and to give you an honest assessment of who else is in the category to know if they should win. Do I want them to win? Of course. You know what I mean? But if you, as being a true reviewer, as a fan, I want them to win. But I have to, if you want me to give you an honest opinion, I need to know who they're up against. You know what I mean? To know, to give you an honest run on it and everything else. So we'll see on that. And thank you for calling. I think she went off on her own.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Yeah, you
Bye.
Bye.
And now she is off the air and everything else. And I would just like to say, she talked about like witches, fairies. People talk about witches. They talk about fairies. They talk about all these things like this. Well, I happen to ask the expert this particular question also. I said, a lot of people are saying the fairies. A lot of people are saying the witches. I said, what? Why would people think that? Well, this is what he told me.
We have all sorts of stories, mythologies, legends that could be interpreted as gods, who in reality were misinterpreted extraterrestrials.
So I can't. I don't make this up. I'm just telling you what the expert is saying. All right.
The only way I think it's witchcraft is if it's literally a game. If it's like a video game or like a computer game, if it's something like that, I believe the whole, you know what I'm saying? Because each level, I could see them doing some shenanigans like that. But if it's just some extraterrestrial testing, whatever thing, I don't think it's witchcraft. But I mean, I still don't know if we have any answers as to why they're using these like hieroglyphic symbols or whatever the case may be on this talisman. Like, because that's very witchcraftery type of stuff. So why include that if it's nothing more than just an aliens watching humans?
I mean, if it's a game, it's just a part of the game, you know, right? So you just got to make it look like something. Again, trying to make it look like this is what it is. Let's take this call here. It's the 667.
Call from.
She grown for you.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Looks, I don't know what this is.
Too grown for you.
This is too grown for you right now, calling in?
Yeah. Yeah. You laugh. You just too crazy.
What happened, Sadie? Yeah, to the phone. I ain't hearing you.
Hi, Ann. Because you're something else.
He's screening calls like you're calling his house or something. And like you're looking to pay bills.
Is like playing they giving him favoritism since he's been there so long.
Victor?
Yeah, the alien thing. They giving him, you know, favoritism since he's been there so long. Because he been there so long, he not dead.
Yeah.
He could be, you understand?
Yeah.
He could have been making him working
Like their pets or something. Because he was a child and keeping him alive that long.
Because it's just strange. He's been there so long.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not dead. Yeah.
I think they are. I think that it's one and the same. In all honesty, if you want to ask me the question specifically, I'm saying it's one and the same. I think he's not dead, and they're giving him favoritism because he's the mole.
Yeah,
he's the one.
Yeah,
it's him. It's Victor. It's the guy that no one thinks is the mole. It's the guy who's been there a lot. I told you, in order to be the mole, you got to be there a lot. It's him. He's the one doing this shit. Victor.
Looks harmless, right?
He's behind all this shit.
Playing slow on purpose, so to speak. You know, like like child. If
he
said,
I've been here. This is my home. He's been there since he was a little boy. And how is he? You know, they not getting him, and he even ain't had those little talismans all that long time. You know, he has to be the mole.
Yeah, and also too, I don't think we've ever really narrowed down why there's only one kid at a time. Why is there only one kid at a time?
What happened? You say too grown for you? What you say?
No, I said that is all I wanted, and say hello to everybody.
Well, thank you for calling in. We truly appreciate it. You know, you're part of the family. You're part of the chat, and call in again. Don't be afraid. We here all night.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
It's great to hear people's voices and everything, and get on there. And I think she makes a valid point that, you know, Victor has been there for a long time. Nothing has happened to him. That's very suspect.
It's very suspect.
Yeah.
You know,
Almost as suspect as Donna with the hands in the pockets all day.
Yeah, always. Now,
you're right. Why? That's interesting. Like she's
I'm gonna
always
ask
that,
her.
right?
I swear to God, when I have her back on, I will ask her again what's going on. Let's take this call 920.
Call from.
Thomas Hitman the Third.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
What's going on, Thomas the Hitman the Third?
Hey, Thomas.
Thomas, you here?
Yes, I can hear you. Hey, so I guess my biggest question is, especially with the previous season, like, why haven't they decided to use the talismans as like weapons?
Like how such?
Like to knock them out with?
Like how such? How would they use them as a weapon?
Because they use them to like guard the doors and everything, and it's like I know how they've now used the worms, but like it seems like they should have explored it further. Almost like they know that they can use them to defend from 4 areas, but I'm wondering, like, why not try and explore it a little bit further? Like maybe try and use the talismans closer.
You got to explain this to me. We mean like stick it up the ass or something? What do you mean?
I don't know. Just like you know how like they cut him, like how he was able to cut him and put the worms into him. What if they just sliced them like with a spear,
Okay.
like
To make it
talisman?
sharp, like on a or maybe even like I don't know what it's made out of, but make a powder out of it, and I don't know, feed it or throw
I mean,
throw it
I
at them.
can see them trying to trap them with the talismans, like put them in the box and then have the talisman outside the door and then to get them trapped in there. I could see it that way being used as an offensive weapon, but any other way it would be hard for me to see him actually doing so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe like like something maybe defensive more so. That'd probably be a lot better. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way I can see it. I mean, like, they could take it with sticking up one of them creatures' butt crack and say, there you go, they're sleeping. Or something, you know what I mean? Or put it around their neck when they're asleep and then they wake up or something like that.
Right, yeah. Go in the cave and put it in one of their necks or something. I don't know.
Do you think that we're still gonna have
I don't know,
monsters
just
next
an
season?
idea. It was just something I always had on the back of my mind.
You know, like, say they could cut the talisman as a spearhead and stab him with it, you're saying, like that, right? With the rocket.
Yeah, right.
And see if it's actually the rocket.
So like the Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah, that actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See if, like, I don't know, maybe you can stab him with that.
Well, listen, I never thought of it. Quite possibly, you know what I mean? I think there's only 12, so they can't risk it. Like, I think that's the scare to risk any of them. You know what I mean? Because there's only 12 of them and stuff, and there's only 12 spots you can hide up in there and everything else. But putting it at the cave entrance, someone says, that would be a great idea to stick it out.
Yeah, like at the cave entrance too, or who knows? But that's just something I had in mind.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You got anything else for us?
No, that was it. Just a big fan of the show. Been watching since season 1 and love everything. Appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in, man. Call back again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. You have a great one.
You too.
You guys think too? I want to know if you guys think this way. I'm like, it feels like there's a gap between season 1 and season 2. Like, if there's one thing I thought maybe they should have explained is maybe where the talisman came from, or the importance of the talisman, what makes it special. Because now that we have Boyd, where Boyd is basically like immune to these animals too, what's the connection that Boyd has and these talismans have that the monsters cannot cross that path?
Yeah. Johnny says no butt is safe. Listen, it's always, for some reason, it's always up the ass, right? I don't know why. That's the way.
That's the last place I want to take it. No way.
I heard it's like for infants, it's like when they're treating infants, it's like the quickest absorption over there. So
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, when you have a baby, that's where they stick the thermometer every time, right?
And medicine in some cases, because it gets to the inside of the body, the cells the quickest. So.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's cell block 69 style on these creatures, boy. We need to send in the booty warrior. Let's send the booty warrior over there.
He's free now, Tony. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see he's free. You put the booty warrior. He'll have these monsters running, boy. The booty warrior in there. He'd be like, I want you. And we could do this either the easy way or the hard way.
Now you're gonna be surprised if they say the hard way, and then like, oops, what do I do now?
Never mind.
Well, like promises, right?
Yeah, I don't know the booty warrior is. Go look him up and listen to the interview.
I wonder if it's still there. If nobody took it
it's
down.
there.
I'm sure
It's on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, that's legendary. I never
look it up. Those of you who have not seen it.
Yeah, go look up the booty warrior. You'll see.
That wasn't like that was like on like regular cable. I don't think wasn't it?
That was on regular cable.
Yeah, it wasn't like you had to get a special channel to hear that interview. It was.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I want you, and I like you, and we can either do this the easy way or the hard way.
Or the hard way.
And there's only two options you got. There's no option three here. That's what he says. He goes, listen, man, a man's butt. He goes, booty, a man's butt. It's more important than drinking water, man.
Yeah. It was crazy.
And he was so serious about it too. The conviction in his voice.
He's so serious. That's the whole thing. And he's not, and he wants you to know specifically what he's talking about when he says booty. He's a man's butt. Yeah, what you know, that's what he's after.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It's hilarious. It's
definitely a moment of like TV history of all time.
It is. That's more important than drinking water. So.
And I think you played it live a couple times in the past. Once.
All right, so let me say that I did play. We used to play it live all the time. Let me say this about fan TV fandom con that's coming up next year in Nashville. I just spoke to two actors. I'm not going to tell you the actors are manager today, actually. Ooh. And from the conversation that we had, it's going to be a go with those two. So we got those two who will definitely be there at the con in Nashville next year. So that's guaranteed, and they are associated with From. So we will definitely have them there. I'll have the website up at the end of the month. I had the other From Con website up. But obviously, y'all know what happened there, so I switched up and had to do a brand new one and stuff, right? So we'll definitely have them there, and so it soon it'll be almost available for pre-order soon, as soon as we get it up and everything.
I will be there.
You better be. And geez, if you're not, it's problem. Yeah, Anna will be there. Elamar, will you be there?
I will make sure to make plans for that, and it's
Elamar
a year away, so there's no. There's a
Anna
lot of
is there. The Don Tony Teflon is there. Phil the Issues guy is there. We're all there. So we expect all y'all to be there too, rocking with us there. And we'll have other YouTubers too that'll be there. I promise you that. They'll be there and everything else will be a great time. I promise you that. And listen, it's Nashville. How can't you have a great time in Nashville? Come on, it's going to be an ill party. It'll be an ill party.
I got lots of boots ready.
There you go. That's what it's all about. All right, let's continue we were talking about if they can answer one question in season 3 for you, what would you want that to be? Any one of you ladies would like to start. One question in season 3, what would you want that to be?
I think that there is a mole there, that somebody is the mole. And I think I mentioned it last whenever we were speaking about the mole. Donna. So I literally would I see them mentioning who the mole is, but without the town or people knowing without people there knowing. So we would be the ones seeing it. I would love to know who that is, and just us, just the audience. Whatever either they do, something is suspicious, something is off. I would love to see that. I would like to see who the mole is.
All right, Anna, what would you like? One question answered.
I think for me, I would like to know, because they brought one person back from someone's past, right? So I want to know why was it that of all the people, they brought her girlfriend back or her fiance back? Like, what's the connection? Do all these people have some type of connection prior to coming here? I just think it's really random that you would bring Christy's woman back, and that's the only person that has any connection to anybody there. It just felt kind of thrown in. So I'm like, why is that? Why was that person brought back? Because she didn't try. I think, Tony, how we were saying, like, maybe if she would have tried to kill Kenny or something, if she would have done that, it would have felt more like an experiment. Like, who are you going to believe? If they're going against you, are you going to believe Kenny, who's been here, or are you going to believe your ex, who also has a history of being a thief?
I'm with you. Let's take this call.
Call from
Joan Recupero.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I don't I don't know if I trust this one. You trust this one?
It said Joan.
Oh, let's try it. Let's see. I think it's what's going on. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Tony.
Hi. Who am I speaking to here?
It's Joan. It's Joan from Virginia.
Oh, what's going on?
Hi, LMR. And hi,
Hey.
Anna. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a theory about Donna.
Go ahead. Let's hear it. Love to hear it.
Okay.
We're go ahead, shoot. Let us hear it.
Okay. I don't think she's a mole per se, but I think that she's been there longer than 3 years. I think that either she's been there since Victor was there. Sorry, there's a delay.
It's all right. It's all right. Just keep talking. We'll wait till you're done. Yeah. So I think you're listening to the show and on the phone at the same time. So
okay.
Don't listen to the show. Just talk to us at this particular time.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So I think that she's been there since Victor, or maybe a little after that, and that she has seen some of these signs of things that people have tried before. So she knows that they don't already work, like Jim with the tower. So she's kind of trying to push people away from things that don't work. But it's not necessarily that she's, trying to do something behind the scenes. She's just trying to guide people so that they don't go in the wrong direction.
So you think that she's a mole, but not a harmful mole? Like so you really think she's more institutionalized than a mole, right? I would say that she's just trying to keep people there.
Yeah, and I don't even think that she's necessarily trying to keep people there, but because she has seen these things that have happened before, just like Victor has, but Victor won't say anything about it. She knows the direction that it's going in, and she doesn't want them to, she doesn't want them to do things that are going to cause problems. She'd rather see them go in the direction of what's going to lead to answers. Not that she knows what the answer is, but she knows that certain things, because she's seen them before, like living as long as Victor has there, that these things don't work, that these things lead to worse things.
All right. What do y'all ladies think about that? Is Donna just trying to prevent worse things from happening? Is that why she's acting so funny?
I still think she's a mole. So I would say, no, I think it's just, there are too many things that are too suspicious when it comes to her. But I don't think that at the same time, being a mole, I don't think she wants to harm people. She's protecting everyone there, but also protecting the people doesn't mean that, I mean, if everybody would die, there goes the whole experiment, or whatever is happening, they would have to get new people. So why not, have them, protect them, and do with them, experiment on them while keeping them safe. Like, you don't want your lab rats to die, right? You want to keep them alive. You are feeding them. You're protecting them from other rats if they're attacking each other. So why not Donna doing the same thing, protecting the people that they're studying?
And sometimes too, I kind of think like, what normal person in that situation wouldn't want to be proactive in getting out of there? Like, she just got, in my opinion, she's got really comfortable. She's investing more in maintaining as opposed to exiting. So I don't know.
Yeah, I do agree. She's maintaining. She definitely does not want them to leave. She would be more, supportive.
You would think you would think in this type of environment, like, yeah, you're trying to make it to the next day, but you're trying to make it to the next day to figure out how to get out of there. You're not trying to make it to the next day to live there the rest of your lives. And I think she's trying to make everyone else get just, and it could be the mole portion of it, like to get everybody else just as content with the life here. Like, yeah, you two get married. If you're married and in love, you're not going to want to get out of here. You're going to be focused on staying here. Yeah, you're pregnant. Exactly. We're teaching you to fight off your fight or flight instincts.
That's Auntie Donna's baby there.
But it kind of feels like they're trying to get them to not to ignore your instinct to get out of here.
All right. Anything else for us?
No, that's it. Thanks for taking my call, Tony.
No problem. Thanks for calling, and please call back in. You have a good day.
You know what?
Thank you.
Please stay sexy.
For people calling in, it would probably be easier if you said whatever your YouTube screen name is.
Yeah, and I would say your YouTube screen name, and when you call in, this is what you gotta do. You gotta mute the YouTube. All right. Don't try to listen to yourself on YouTube while you're on this. I mean, if you ever called in on a radio show, they'll tell you the same thing because it's a delay. So if you're listening to yourself on TV and then hearing us, it's just going to mess up everything. So just make sure you mute your YouTube while you're on the phone with us, and that will take care of that problem. And we can also hear it in the background.
Yeah, and no speakerphone.
Yeah, no speakerphone. Don't speakerphone us either. All right, and have a pretty good connection if you can. A lot of things we're saying here, but just trying to keep everything the way it's supposed to be and all that good stuff and everything. All right, so I let me give my thing. If I could have one thing solved in this whole show, you know what I want it to be.
Extraterrestrial.
Listen,
Season 3.
That's it. I want to get it over with already. I'm just sick of everybody, and that's it. I just want them just to come out and just say it already, so that I can just be right. Everyone can be wrong, and then that would just be it. That'll be the end of it, and then that'll be the way it goes. Now,
Tony,
people are talking about your earrings. They're loving them. They're saying they're beautiful.
Yeah, it's because they're blowing.
So the earrings come with like the fan to add the motion to it. Beautiful. Yeah,
that's like the runway. It's a runway trick.
Runway, yeah. And Tony, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anna.
Well, I was just only going to quickly say with Tony, that's something that I would like. Give us something, either or at least let us know if somebody was actually watching them. Like, if you're not going to tell us what it is, can you tell us that someone actually watching them?
I agree. Let's take this call real quick. 8-2.
DJ.
To accept, press 1.
All right.
To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's going on, DJ? You're on live.
Yeah, so I just had a question. It was like I haven't so much of it, and I don't know if you guys went over it before, but I think like on the season finale, you guys were saying like when Victor was pointing out the tree, it was. But I don't think like
you broke up right there. You have to say that over again.
Yeah, ever since season 1, basically, I don't think that like no one's ever went over the fact that Victor was saying that the trees were moving, and then like on the season finale of this season, Victor realized that the bottle tree wasn't in the same spot. So could that be like correlated?
I don't know if it was the bottle tree or the tree around it, because the other trees, I think he looked at the other trees and said, wait a second, these trees weren't here. And then Tabitha like cut them off. So I don't think specifically it was the bottle tree. I think it was the other trees, but maybe it was the bottle tree. And I have that wrong. Ladies, did you catch that when he said that?
I think it was Battle Tree.
It was
I
Battle Tree?
remember it. Yeah.
Okay, then it was the bottle
But
tree.
again, that might be a faulty memory too.
Yes, I'm just wondering, like, what would be like the significance? Like, what would be like? What do you think the theory is with like the stuff moving?
All right, let's go. Do y'all have a thought? Anna, you do? Let's go.
Well, that to me is a good question. Like when we were thinking about like what question would they want them to ask? There's like a couple of things dealing with like number one, weather changing that wasn't happening before, according to Victor, never happened before, and trees moving as well. And they like brought those things up, especially like in season 1. And then they brought up this weather change in season 2, but there were no conclusions, or there were no endings to those things that were randomly thrown out. So that's kind of frustrating, because you're like, well, why did you say that? What is that really impacting? Because if the trees are moving, is it saying that maybe this thing is constantly spinning? Are we in like a snow globe and you're, like, what is it because the it's changing because the levels in the game are changing, and that's why things are shifting or moving? Is it because it's like what they call, like, not farmhouse, but what's the farming game where you like plant your stuff? Or not the farming game, but like the one
Farmville, like Animal Crossing, are you talking about?
Animal Crossing, where like you're building your own town and stuff, so things would shift and move, I guess, as maybe you like buy things and move and shift things around. I mean, that's the only thing maybe I could think of, but I'm just like, what would be the point of saying, hey, these things are shifting, or all of a sudden there's a change in the weather, if you're not going to, number one, kill off a whole bunch of people because of it, or you're trying to show us that this is an ever-changing environment because you're changing levels.
Well, we've seen the weather change, and we know that that's being controlled, because when they got close to the watchtower, the lighthouse, whatever you want to call it, that's when they sent the storm in to drive them back. So someone's controlling the weather. It's like, that's the reason why the seasons, this is not Game of Thrones, Westeros, where the shit don't come every 1,000 years. You know what I mean? Or 50 years. This is someone doing that purposely. Yeah. And now they're changing it again because they're on to the next step of what's about to happen. And when we've seen the weather change, and that's when we've seen these nightmare creatures come out and everything else. So I think it's as you said, Anna, the next level is about to happen.
Yeah. Almost like when they keep adding more people, it's like, do you guys survive having these new people? Are you able to adapt with these new people? Okay, well, then we'll move you to this position. Maybe Victor has never gotten that far. Like maybe the people that were with Victor, if you think about like the 50s and stuff, like our parents and grandparents, would they have been that adventurous to be trying to seek out what's happening, or
or is it just more for survival in the place they're at versus like, okay, let's be proactive and get out there while we're safe to advance.
I feel like maybe it's taken this long for things to happen because you're finally dealing maybe with like a generation of people that just aren't going to sit back maybe and let things happen. So they just started killing those people off after a certain time period and waiting for like a new generation to come in. Okay, well, how will you deal with it? Okay, you don't want to fight either? Okay, next. Like, I don't know, maybe every 10 years or something.
Yeah, I think me personally, I think that it's the same people who have been here time and time again, and this is the natural process. I think most of these people, they all been killed off before. They all died, and they go through the same test, and then after they kill these people off, they'll go to a different dimension and bring them over and start the whole process again. And that's just what it is. I think that's the way it goes. I think that it's just over and over until they find do whatever they want. Like, let's say again, like Fatima all of a sudden is pregnant. I believe that was that woman in the water was Fatima who got drowned before because it didn't work out for her. And this time, hey, whatever experiment worked, they were able to get her pregnant this time. And that's why she's pregnant and everything. And I think everyone that has some type of situation like that in there, they're trying to figure out. And when they don't, and it gets too tight, or people about to leave, I think they flood the whole place in there. That's how they kill everybody. They flood the place and just drown everybody. And then once everyone's drowned, they drain the water out and start all over again.
I feel like they should have done that. Like the end of this season should have been like a great flood or something.
It will come. I mean, they didn't bring up. I mean, when Tabitha goes into that cave, she specifically looks down and says, "Where is this water coming from?" Mm-hmm. She didn't say, "Where's the water leading?" She didn't say that. Mm-hmm. She said, "Where is the water coming from?"
I wonder what they do with the bodies, though. The cars are left behind, but there's only that much space where you can bury people.
Those bodies, I'll tell you where they're at. They're in that damn Burrows Lake. That's where they're at.
Lake of Tears, just dump the bodies there. Just like
Burrow, whatever those people are swimming in, the bodies are all at the bottom of there. That's where they're all at. That's where the bodies are. The bodies are in there, drowned.
That's a lot of flesh.
So, Tony, what do you think the point of Elgin was then?
Elgin, I think that his reveal was whack. They should have gave him something better. You know, just to reveal that, oh, the boy in white is telling me the same nursery rhyme that we already heard from somebody else. It's not enough. It can't be just be that, because he was too focused on the lake when he got that little river. He's too focused around water, him getting drowned and him getting drowned inside there. You know, it has something to do with water. This doesn't have to do with that boy in white saying that nursery rhyme to him. Has to be something more. And he's associated with everything you see him with is always water. You know what I mean? So and then they try to drown him. And I think and people may say, you know, that the drowning is not what it is and stuff like that, but it will happen. I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, over 200 people here, only 90 likes. That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
What I
got to do? I give you live phone calls. I give you these two beautiful ladies. I give you that, and this is all I can get is 90 likes. That's
maybe they hit it twice. You know, once you have to hit it one more time to get to the, you know, the like to stick.
What do you guys think too? Like, it felt like the first season was doing a lot more introduction of things that have happened in like the far off past that there's no way possible you would have been a part of, like the Civil War, you know, situation. It's like, it's almost like they just left that stuff back there.
Well, that Civil War stuff seems to be a manifestation of Victor's sister, because she drew that Civil War soldier, all right? And it seemed like it came to life, that Civil War soldier. So is this you know, if you've ever seen I read a book when I was little. It was called Harold and His Purple Crayon. I don't know if y'all ever got a chance to read that book, but it was about a kid who that whatever he drew with that purple crayon came to life. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe it's something. I don't think it could be a situation like that. What, you know, as Sarah said, that people's nightmares come to life. Well, it seems like the drawings that because I don't think she was drawing the stuff for the same reason Victor was drawing it. She was just drawing because she wanted to draw it, not to remember anything, right? So I think that it could just be that some of her drawings came to life, like Harold's Purple Crayon.
I guess maybe I would buy that more if she was like some like black kid that would have like experienced slavery or something, and it's like your ancestors connecting back to you and showing them being hung, and you know what I'm saying? Like it just, I'm still waiting for the connecting dots to these like blips of what seem like genius moments, but when there's no finish to them, I'm like, well, why are we introducing all this new stuff if we haven't even showed any thread of connection to these other things?
I think the only thing we could say about that is to try to hope that they know what they're doing, and that, you know, it is what it is, you know what I mean, and everything else. Yeah. They know exactly what's going on, and they're going to start connecting some. I mean, listen, shows usually take off in season 3. That's usually when they all take off. So they really, in all honesty, you know, because I'm being honest, you know, I love the show, and I'm here about the show. Obviously, we here, you know, 230 people are here watching this with us and everything else when the show's not even on, because we were about the show. But I did see people during the season saying that they were losing them in the first episodes, that they needed some more answers. And I understand that everyone we live in this Netflix age where people want to binge watch things, so they want all the answers all at once. But I do think they have a chance to lose some of the audience they've gained if they don't give up some stuff early in season 3. Yeah. It's got to come quick. It can't be wait to episode 6 like this one. No, it's got to be. They got to come with something really fast in season 3 to keep everybody hooked and stuff. What do y'all think about it?
And what answers did you think you even got, Tony?
We didn't get what answers? Let me think. What answers did we get this season?
I don't think we got the creatures cannot be killed with that, but that's not even a question that we had in the beginning, right?
What did we get? We got the creatures died. One creature died. But as for answers, I don't think we got any answers. That's great. That's great. All right, let's take this call.
Call from.
Or when you call me Big Papa.
To accept, press 1.
All right, we got our boy KP is on the line. KP, what's good, baby?
Hello.
Hey,
What's going
KP.
on?
Hi.
What's going on, bro?
I am good. Listen, I was good night, ladies. Are the ladies still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Good night.
They're there.
All right, LMR. All right, Anna, y'all look good. Y'all look good. Y'all look
Well,
good.
thank you.
Quick question. So, okay, I am wondering, do you believe that there might be some misdirection going on with all these scares and all these portals and whatnot, and the reality is very, very pedestrian, like they're filming a fucking movie or somewhere and shit like that? Like, how possible do you think it is that all of the like insane shit that's happening will end up being for naught, because the reality is like they were just shooting a movie?
So what do y'all think? Do you think that a lot of this is going to wind up being for naught? That this is a lot of it's a con? I think he's trying to say.
I mean, I truly don't even think. I'm not sure if we're gonna have monsters next season. I mean, we did not see them after, right? After some time, they're just gone.
It's like there's nothing, like all the bad stuff that we're seeing happen is necessarily as bad as we see it to be. Like, for example, when you see people get killed by the monsters, like you never see the monsters actually killing them, except the little thing with where the lady bit off his tongue or whatever. But you never actually see monsters go and like actually do the kill. You see it as though you would see it if you were filming a movie.
So you say that again to me, because I didn't pick up on it. I didn't understand. Say it again.
Okay. So whenever somebody dies from a monster attack, right? All we see is the body at the end of the attack, and then before that we see the monster, the monster that was human looking turn into monster form. But we never actually see the monster going in and attacking and eating organs and doing anything weird like that, except for that one time when the female bit off the guy's tongue, right? Which is like, which is a very, very low level. Like that is low threat stuff. Like that's not a big deal. So I'm not saying that they are shooting a movie. I'm saying, what if the whole thing is a misdirection and all the weird stuff that we're seeing, there is a actual explanation for it that is within 2023 reality, and like the whole idea of the show is to show how things can be made to look or be perceived a particular way without all the information. But when you have all the information, things are less scary or less weird because you know what's actually going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I got you. I think I got what you're saying. So you're saying that you almost like what Randall was saying, that are you sure, like when he said, are you sure these people died this way? You just seen the body, but are you sure this is how they died? Because they do this show, they don't show the person getting killed, they show the aftermath all the time of the body parts and stuff like that. So is it just all being faked, as Randall would say? And that was the reason why he confronted Sarah. Like, oh, is your brother really dead? Is he really dead? How do you know your brother's really dead? You know, a situation like that, I think, is what he's saying. So what do y'all think? Do you think that all this could be being staged to make it look like these people are dead, but in reality they're not?
No, because they remember they had the screaming, the old people that died.
Mm-hmm.
We heard all this. We heard all the screaming, all the commotion happening in the bus when they were killed. It wasn't like we heard about it after the fact.
Yeah, I don't. The only show that I'm thinking that they're doing something for show is displaying those bodies after they kill them to make the gore even. Well, I guess they're not hiding them. If they're dying, they're gonna make sure that all the blood that is in there is all around them, on the wall, everywhere. The guts are parts of whatever organs are there. There's all over the place.
And I think that was to keep people in line, to show them what the result could be if one of these monsters catch you. I mean, it has to be literally the most gruesome situation you could find to keep you that terrified. But once Boyd figured out kind of how to get rid of them, it was like at that point, they're almost null and void at that point. They don't even have the same fear anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is what it is and stuff like that. Again, listen, if you call in, I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. Do not listen to the show in the background because we can hear it, and it messes everything up. Now, if you do that, I'm gonna have to shut you down. I don't want to do that, but I will. I'll have to shut you down because it just ruins everything, and people watching it later, it's gonna ruin it for them. So just mute the television or whatever you're listening it on. Why? I know you want to hear your voice on there. Rewind it. Rewind it after. All right. But this is what you do and everything else. Yeah, I think they do put the bodies on display a lot of times and everything else. Tom was I think Tom was, they dragged him from underneath that, which to me was a little, I don't understand it, because this monster was basically standing up underneath the rubble. And then leaped at him and somehow pulled him all the way out, but didn't get anybody else.
Right.
So how did they have them? I didn't see there's enough space for that monster to be standing up at that particular time.
Yeah. And so in the box by now. Why do we only get one box?
Let me. I think this is KP again. Let's get him back.
Call from.
Yeah, I forgot to mute my phone.
To accept, press 1.
What up, KP? What's going on?
Yeah, I forgot to mute my phone. Well, because for whatever reason, I'm not hearing like Anna and LMR at all when they're responding on the phone. But I don't know if you guys responded yet to this. But the one other question I had is regarding the mole, or the concept of the mole. To me, if there is a mole, which isn't necessarily obvious to me that there is, but I get where everybody else is coming from, why it seems it should be obvious. If there is a mole, to me, that mole would not necessarily be a malevolent mole, nor would it necessarily be a benevolent mole. I don't know if you ever read Dune or if you watched the movie recently, but there's a character in Dune called Liet Kynes, right? And he's working for the Emperor. And the Atreides forces are trying to and the Emperor makes the guy the Lord of the Change, and he's supposed to be unbiased and make sure that all the people who are coming in with the right stuff, and all the people are leaving and not destroying stuff. And and if he sees some impropriety, he's supposed to tell the Emperor that these motherfuckers they doing some fuck shit, and you should probably kill them. Anyways, I think the person who may or may not be more, or persons, would be people that are acting more like referees to a game versus like being protagonist or even antagonist inside of it. They're just trying to make sure that the thing gets done right, and so that's why Donna does make a good person for it, because she's making sure stuff gets done right, because she knows more than everybody else and she's more prepared than everybody else, but she can't necessarily let them know that she knows more, or whatever the case might be. Does that make sense at all?
That was a lot.
Okay.
Well,
let me just say one more thing.
Yeah, because you're going with different, the Dune stuff and all that, and I'm not familiar with that.
Well, yeah, it because it really got me thinking about that character from Dune, right? So imagine if this situation is being set. Let's say it's aliens, right? Let's say the aliens are let's call them Martians, right? Just the Martians have set this game up, and there is a way to play this game to make sure that a particular outcome that is positive for humanity plays out. And there's somebody inside of the game whose job it is not necessarily to help or to fix, but to at least make sure that the humans have a shot. So to keep them within the rules and to make sure that within the rules they have a shot. So that's why, you know, you see Donna corralling people, you see her making sure shit just doesn't get too far, that kind of thing. But notice, Donna never actually ever really has like any kind of a breakthrough, right? She never has, like, you know, Tabitha has this breakthrough where, you know, she starts to dig and then she goes into the tunnels and now she has a secret knowledge, and then, you know, she goes to the tower and now she's in a hospital bed. Jim has the thing with he tries to do the antenna thing and that goes to shit. And then he's also is part of the group that's trapped in the little RV with Ronald or whatever is that, Randall. Like almost every main character has done something with trying to further the progress of the group, or trying to get the group out of Fromville. Donna never has any kind of breakthrough with respect to like helping them get out of here. Donna's entire role has been as a referee. Like, does that make sense?
It does. I understand what you're saying. You're saying Donna's not doing, but that goes back to us saying Donna seemed, and the actress Liz herself, when she came on, she said that Donna was institutionalized.
That Donna was what?
Institutionalized, like she was just, you know.
From before.
Yes, so she's used to this, and this is what she knows, and she's cool with it.
Which even makes more sense with my little stupid theory that she's probably she's good at organizing people in stressful situations, but she's not trying to get them out of. She may know the answer how to get out of this thing, but she's not giving them the answer. She's just making sure they stick together so that they can get the answer. Because Donna never, ever, ever, ever has a breakthrough. Or can you think of something that she's done that's been like a breakthrough?
She's done no breakthrough. I can't say that she's had a breakthrough or done anything. She seems to be like the glue that holds them together.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the glue is put there specifically, and the glue is there to make sure the game gets played and the people have a fighting chance.
And I think that,
like, she can't help.
I think Elamar would agree with you that she's put there, and that it's possible that Donna, you're saying Donna's the mole, and in a roundabout way.
But exactly. But I also think that she does not want to. I don't think she would want to leave.
I'm not even saying it's not even that it's Donna. It could be multiple moves. It could be, and shit. Like, if you want to get even deeper, there could be moves for the good side and moves for the bad side. You know. Somebody's in there, you know, as you know, trying to make sure the bad side gets a chance to win. Somebody's inside there trying to make sure the good side gets a chance to win. And they know one another, but like part of the rules is they can't tell one another. They know about one another. Like, because it seems to me that inside of Fromville there are way too many rules that like monsters follow. Like the idea of a talisman preventing a house is like. I mean, it sounds cool at the onset, but like, where does the house start and where does the house end? How much does the talisman actually prevent them from coming in? Like, if they lived in a mansion the size of a friggin' football stage, would one talisman be able to prevent all these monsters from getting anywhere inside the football stadium? You know, like, there's always been these questions. There's always been these rules inside of this game that like, if one of the monsters wanted to break the glass and enter, they could, but they follow the rules. So there's always these rules, and the people inside of these games follow the rules. Am I making sense at all?
I got you. We're gonna because the people are trying.
All right, so I'm gonna let you guys answer that, and I'm gonna probably call back a little bit later. Y'all look good. Y'all look good. Y'all look good. Have fun.
Thanks, bro. All right. What he's saying is that it could be multiple moles that, and specifically there to help the game along. He's saying it's a game. What do y'all think? Do you think it's a game that's going on here?
I always thought that it was a game, and mainly because I thought, what do they call them? What are the
Well,
background?
Jade said calls it an escape room right off the back. He thought it was an escape room when he first got there.
Yeah, like I don't know if I thought it was that, but almost kind of like, you know, everybody's gotten into The Last of Us. And like how, you know, like those like experiential games where you're like basically living an entire story and an entire experience. And what are the background players called?
NPCs?
Yes. And I feel like a bulk of those people on that bus were that. But sometimes you do have a new player, not a new player, but a new character introduced that help you along the game. And I feel like that's Chrissy's girlfriend. But I don't know if they're utilizing her the right way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that whole bus was to get Chrissy's girlfriend there. Like she was the one they wanted there, and everyone else was just a victim of the circumstance. They wanted her there, so they brought everybody in there on time.
And like the old lady is like somebody you should be listening to or looking out for. Like, you know, like sometimes you'll get like little clues that pop up, and then like Elgin is supposed to be like a key almost to solving it, you know. So I feel like, because like half those folks, yeah, they're there, but they're basically like background. They just say like a word or two here or there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Purple Owls, I'll get to all the super chats. I can answer them and stuff. So, you know, we just had a phone call that lasted a little bit, and we're just talking about something. So I will read your super chat now because you wish for it to be read, and all super chats will always get read. Must be a connection between the hung soldier and the symbol also seen by Jade. Red root trees above the children's cave. Also, any input on the puppet. So I think that, and I'll call back in 1 second. Whoever this is, call me right back after I answer this question. I'll take a call again. I think that the connection was that he said it right, that the Civil War soldier. I'll call again right off the bat. Call back when we're done.
Call later.
In 1 second. Go back in 1 second. I think we said it right. He said the situation that was what he's seen. The Civil War soldier was from the picture. I think that's why they showed the picture of it and everything else. It was specifically that reason. So I think that that's the connection to that. As for the blood, every time Jade seen the symbol, there was always blood around. The people hanging from the trees with blood, the blood symbol. I think it just means blood sacrifice is what was going on with the children dealing with that symbol. That's when they were laid down on the thing. They were sacrificing the children's blood. What do y'all think?
I mean, it feels like there's lots of sacrifices going around because, I mean, if it's whether it's like the life of somebody or your marriage, sacrificing your marriage over something, the sacrifice with Christy and like her like how her girlfriend sacrificed her sobriety over her leaving. So I don't know, like everybody had a lot of trauma prior to coming into this, but I guess you could just say that for anybody. And there's a lot of trauma surrounding the situation, but I don't know. I still think, I mean, because it's so vague, it just feels a lot like a goddamn video game. And I feel like sometimes when you're playing those video games, there's like all these clues that you'll go through level after level. And you're like, I don't know what that was or why I saw that or why that showed me. And you won't even find out about why you needed that or why it was important until like 10 levels down. If you make it to, but you got to make it to that point to see the connecting dots. So that's why maybe it's feeling like a game to me. Because it's just passing out. It's like almost like you're collecting clues. You're collecting, what do they call it? Not treasures, but like, I mean, the talisman. What would you call it?
Like you know, like in a game, like you pick up pieces and
like to finish the puzzle, you need all these things. So I think that's why it's just feeling so game-like to me because there's filler people. You're trying to bring in these one people to like move the game along, and it's like they're stopping the flow of the game with trying to like figure things out or change. They're stopping the flow of the game.
And with Boyd, when he was getting that, I'm here, but then I have to go over there to get the torch. You have to connect the pieces, get the torch.
Yes.
You have to be in a specific spot. You have to light it up the specific way. And then, there you go you are in a different spot. So especially with that piece, for me, it was very game-like. I see what yeah.
100%. If you look at that, you could play that whole video game. Oh, we got to go find the torch. Go in this room, find the torch.
Right, yeah.
And then go back in the torch and get a lighter to light the torch and get back here.
Yeah.
And the guy tries to shoot you while you're on your way there, and you got to shoot them and clap them, but you lost a little bit of your health. And you got to walk over there with your health out, and you go in there, and you find the music box and kill it.
Yeah. Like how he got shot, Tony. Like why is he always getting randomly shot or hurt? It's almost like you're losing life points, right? You're losing strength points, and if you can finish it, we'll replenish your life points.
Too grown for you. You're 100% right. All right, let's take this call. Let's take this.
Steph Snow.
Oh,
To accept, press 1.
This is Steph Snow in the building. What's going on, Steph?
Snow.
So it's so hot. I just want to know what everyone's favorite extreme was. It's not related from, but I thought it was fun to ask everyone what they like for ice cream.
You're a little low. It's hard to hear you. Is there any way you can speak up or in the phone closer so we can hear you?
I just want to know what everyone's favorite flavor of ice cream was. I know it's not related to from, but it's so hot everywhere. And I just thought it'd be a fun summer question.
Well, all right. We will answer your fun summer question. Anna, what is your favorite ice cream?
When I was a kid, it was mint chocolate chip or Oreo cookie. And now it's totally black. It's butter pecan.
All right. Lamar, what is your favorite ice cream?
Dunkenheim, and it would have to be the two mixture of two. One is pistachio and cream, and the other scoop would have to be coconut and pineapple cream.
When I was young, my favorite ice cream bar was the WWE ice cream bar. And then it turned to the toasted almond bar from Good Humor, which they discontinued. The toasted almond bar, which is probably the greatest Good Humor bar they ever had. But in all honesty, like if I eat ice cream and I go out, I either get cookies and cream. Usually I get a McFlurry from there. From McDonald's, and I get that. I get the McFlurry, or I'll get vanilla and then buy like the Smucker's strawberries myself, and then just pour it in there myself. That's usually where it goes for me. That's it.
Yeah, there's a place by my house that makes
the McFlurries are kind of fun.
Love it.
But I love the rum raisin and the coffee. But thank you for answering my question. I love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Thank you for jumping in there. Now I'm going to tell you, if you ever go to McDonald's, you do what Tony Teflon does, all right? Because I made this up, all right? And they'll do it for you. I made it up. That's how you do it. When you go ask for a McFlurry, tell them to put 2 apple pies in there for you.
Like you just shove them in there, like squish it, or just like place it there?
No, they'll put them in there and switch it around like a McFlurry.
Ooh.
Oh.
They'll put it in there for you. You got to pay extra for the apple pie. It's $1.
Yeah.
So just say, give me 2 apple pies, stick 2 apple pies in there, and they will put it in the machine. And that shit is amazing. Let me tell you.
They hate you at McDonald's.
Is that the same machine that makes just our ice cream? Is that the same machine?
No, it just mixes it around.
Yeah.
But I hear sometimes at McDonald's, not here, like we usually have all of our. I don't remember. One time their machine was down. I'm wondering if that's the same for others.
That's the shake machine.
It's always down.
It's a different one.
The shake machine is always down. The shake machine is always down. But yeah, go there. I made that up. It's the Tony Teflon special. Go in there and you can get your apple pies in your McFlurry.
And the other toppings or just that?
That's all you need. All right, let's take another phone call here.
Call from
Jesse J2G.
To accept, press.
What's going on live with the Don Tony Teflon, Lady L. Lamar, and the beautiful, beautiful Red Lipstick Podcast host, Anna.
What's going on? This is Jesse J2G from 773. Just wanted to make a quick point that I think I'm on to something. when we talk about Abbeville, South Carolina, there's another Abbeville that's in Lancaster, what is it, Pennsylvania. And the weird thing about it is Abbeville is inside Lancaster, but it's just one big colony house that's on a private road. And that private road was owned by some guy named Langston Cheves, who was the U.S. representative way back at the War of 1812. And it like caused all of this, you know, it was the end of the American Revolution, and you know, all these Native Americans died and all of this stuff. But the interesting thing is he named that colony house after his hometown of Abbeville, South Carolina. And I just haven't heard anybody talking about it because it just seems like it's just right there. So I just want to know what you guys think about that.
I would truly have to look into it. That's the first I heard of it.
It's Lovecraft, though.
Yeah, well, the thing is, because I had Googled Abbeville, but way back when you know, I was about to say was looking at the pictures of the newspaper, and everybody kept saying, you know, that's Abbeville, South Carolina. And when I looked it up, I seen Abbeville, Pennsylvania, and South Carolina, and they were both revolved around the same person. And he actually helped build that house up, and it passed through many different people, and he turned it into like this huge. He built it up to a huge mansion, and put it on a private road, and gave it the name of Abbeville, off after his hometown. And it's just very weird that you would name just some single house as a whole village. And you know, of course, it's an old slave plantation and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever get a chance, just kind of check that out, because that story is just wild. Because he was like a warmonger.
Now, Anna,
he basically started that war.
Anna, what were you saying about it?
Well, it's from Lovecraft.
I do think it's from Lovecraft too. I think you're 100% right on that.
And even the name he
Oh,
said,
really?
sure, wasn't that the Lovecraft? Wasn't that the?
You know what? I didn't see that last episode. I didn't see the last episode.
Well, it wasn't the
I
last
have to go
one.
back and watch the last episode.
It was the episode where they
God.
went to the house.
Yeah, but if you ever get a chance, man, check that out. It's I can't find exactly why, but that would be the Abbeville is included. But we can't forget about that newspaper. We cannot forget about it. It's right there at the intro. So you know, if you ever get a chance, just check that out for me, please. Thank you. Love what y'all do. Anna, please don't put me in an Amazon position. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
And he's scared of you. I guess he's scared of you somehow, and he ran off when he said it too. I guess he's fearful.
What did she say?
You're fearful of Anna saying that and then running off at the end and stuff.
Well, because she said way back in the After Dark, she was putting people in the Amazon position, and I'm not with that.
Oh, you can't bring After Dark stuff into the real world, man. You can't talk about stuff in the After Dark in the real world.
I think After Dark is way past due already, Tony.
Hey, isn't it? I got you. My bad.
but we will talk about that later. We can talk about After Dark. All right.
Shot town out, man. Let me give you back your time. Thank you much.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, what's that position?
People are gonna start Googling now.
Yeah.
I don't recall, but
Yeah, that position takes your manhood from you.
yeah. Hi, AK.
That takes your manhood, that position. Yeah, but what happens at After Dark stays at After Dark. That's the reason why they get deleted. Everybody on their phone. Let's take another call. Yeah, who is this calling in right now?
Call from
Danielle.
To accept, press 1.
What's going on? You're on live with the Don Tony Teflon, Lady Ella Mar, and the beautiful host of the Red Lipstick Podcast, Anna. Hello.
Hey everyone, it's Danielle.
Hi Danielle, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm excited to have finally gotten through. I just had 2 quick questions.
for my first question, hold on, sorry, my
All right, so something happened with your phone, and now we can't barely hear you. So maybe you can go back to the way it was before, if you can.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. I just had two quick questions. This might have been asked earlier. I came on a little late, but in reference to that German Shepherd dog that we saw in the flashback when, what is the guy's name, Christopher, that killed everyone?
Yeah.
And I think the dog was there with Victor, and then we saw the dog also in the woods. It seemed like it was the same dog. Do any of you know what, because it can't be the same dog, you know, it's been so long. Do any of you have any idea like what it is?
All right, so let's go through the dogs. The dogs, that first time we see him with the boy in white walking around. That's the first time we see the dogs. We see Victor drew a picture of the dogs, associating them with the boy in white. And then we see them supposedly the same dogs that keep helping Boyd supposedly get out of situations. Do you think that the dogs are like undead or something? Spiritual dogs, spiritual animals? You think that they're alive? We think they're on the dogs.
Could it be like a Boyd's wife just appearing there? Like not actually, well, there, but not there. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Is someone saying something?
I don't know if they can hear us, Tony, because they're calling into you and not into the stream. So they might not be able to hear me and Elmar. But when I look at the dogs, it still feels like a game to me. It feels like those, like when you used to have the old Microsoft and that little thing would pop up to tell you how to spell something better or how to use Microsoft or something, like giving you a little tip or trick. That's what the dog feels like.
I agree. It could be a situation like that. So yeah, I guess so. That means you're gonna have to keep open the stream in order to hear you two. How would you do it? I would say probably you would have to have a headset on then.
Yeah, put your headset on.
Put your headset on and then wait. When you hear them talk, you just have to wait a little bit because it'll be a little bit delayed.
That's why they can't hear us.
And all that. So yeah, if you do call in, try to put a headset on or something so you can hear them talking to you, and it's going to be delayed when they do talk, and just wait till they get done and then you can continue. Me, it would be probably live right in your ear and stuff like that, but for them, you would have to hear them through the stream and everything else. But yeah, that's very interesting. No one ever does bring up the dogs or anything else like that, and they are major players in this whole thing. And I know people may not think that that they're real. No, they did lick Boyd and everything, and Boyd touched them, but that doesn't mean anything because we've seen Boyd touch Julie when she was inside of that place, and we knew that she really wasn't inside of that place. So that means that he can touch things that really aren't there for whatever reason, and he touched Abby too, and Abby wasn't really there. So, it could be a definite situation dealing with these dogs, that they're some type of spiritual dogs that are with the boy in white. I believe that they're with the boy in white. They're down with the boy in white when it's all said and done. They're his dog. At least that's what I think it is and everything.
No, if it was a different dog, I would be thinking that everybody in that village can be thought of as sheep, and he's just hurting them. Not them in general, because he's only interacting with a couple people, but the dog like leading where to go and directing him different places. But they usually did not turn out that great. I mean, we got action from it. He got worms from following. I guess was there. I don't think the dog was there by the tree though, right? When he got into that what was it, that well? Mm-hmm. Maybe I just thought that there was that dog over there along with the boy in white.
Yeah, the dog.
Yeah,
he wasn't with the boy in white. Then he came right after, and he got out, and he followed the dog. When he got out of that place with the worms in his arm, the dog came to him twice. Every time he comes out of that place, the dog is there waiting for him. because after he destroyed the music box, the dog was there again. So as soon as he comes out of that place, that dog is there. Dog runs like a rabbit. It looks like when it runs, that dog, for some reason. Doesn't even look like it runs like a dog. It like hops and stuff. That dog.
Do you think, because like they brought up the first nursery rhyme, there's a couple things I'm thinking about. Number one, do we think maybe all this stuff is linked back to a nursery rhyme? Because most of these nursery rhymes are actually pretty evil when you actually look at the words of them. So do we think it's something like that, where everything that's happening is linking back to some type of nursery rhyme? That's one thing. And then also for another, like, I know we brought it up before, but I still don't know what answers did we actually get.
We did not get much
from the nursery rhyme.
Well, I want to know, number one, my first one is, do we think everything that's happening links back to a nursery rhyme?
I don't know if everything does, but I think this nursery rhyme was solved and figured out. I think it's done. Like, I don't think we're going to see people dying in their sleep anymore. I think they got through that situation.
Well, because nursery rhymes, you don't have to be in your sleep per se, but nursery, a lot of them are like pretty adult content focused. And
well, they are. Everyone, right. So Ring Around the Rosie is about what? It's about people catching the plague.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things, even when you look at the Grimm stories and Cinderella, they all were terrible and stuff.
Yeah. They're supposed to be for kids, but they're like,
yeah, Cinderella, the sister, she cut her foot off, right, to get it inside the glass slipper. The mother cut her foot off to fit it.
Oh yeah, that's actually the actual stories that I was told as a child. That's the original. We had some gruesome stories in Poland. Yeah, that's the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all those things were all terrible. Everything was terrible. You know what I mean? I don't know what Duck Duck Goose is. Like, I think that's just regular.
It's almost like when you think of the word from. Well, which fairy tale is this from?
Mm-hmm.
It could be a fairy tale situation. Well, what show? They had a show called Grimm on TV, right? With a back in the day, Grimm, when the nursery came to life. The nursery tales were living in the real world, and they were all evil creatures and stuff, and they had to go hunt them down and everything else. AK says yes. One of the sisters cut the toes off, other one cut off their heel. Yeah, it was definitely some crazy stuff. And the real Humpty Dumpty. Yeah, I don't know the real Humpty Dumpty. You know what I mean? Jess says, Anna, you have some good ideas.
Thank you, Jess. I'm like, it can't. I'm like, even though I want it to be a video game so bad just to prove my point, I'm like, it can't be that goddamn simple. It just can't be that simple.
I'm going to take the call off the line for the rest of the night. We're not going to be here much longer. We'll do the calls again before it's all said and done. Next stream. But we're done taking calls. We're going to end this soon. Probably 15 minutes. We'll be on here. So if you have I could focus more on the chat and get y'all questions up there and everything else and all that good stuff. And
I do have a question for you, Tony, and for Anna. There's one, and I actually was trying to look for it right now, but they're not talking about it. The credit song that plays in the beginning, the Que Sera Sera, that's one thing, but I was sure, and I need to look it up. I see at the end, at some point, I heard a different song playing. Have you heard that? Have you heard a different tune? And the reason why I'm saying it, it reminds me when I heard it, I thought I was watching a different show, like it switched, because that was the song from The Undoing, from HBO, the miniseries Undoing, and there was a song called a Dream, I think Dream a Little Dream or something like that. I was just wondering if you heard it or.
I've heard them play other songs, but I don't think like in there in like the beginning part or the ending they played other songs.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you heard that.
Yeah, usually it has to do with whatever was going on in that in that scene before it ended. They'll play a song that relates to it.
That might be it. That must have been it. Because then after that, I have not. I don't remember hearing it, but then of course I turned it off right after. But it was just kind of strange that they would use this song from the other,
I
from
mean,
other.
one time the radio played, "We're trapped in here. We won't get out of
Oh,
here."
that's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think
Right.
they use songs like that in there. Greg Huggins says, when Sarah says they're laughing at Boyd for bringing them back to town, what if that was about the talisman? What if the talismans are a bad thing? I don't think so. What do y'all think? Do you think that it was about the talismans they were talking about and the talismans are a bad thing?
I don't think so. I mean, they kept them alive. They kept their specimens alive in that experiment, so they didn't have to replenish the group. So I guess that's a good thing. I was just surprised why those creatures did not go into that cave or wherever Boyd found them. There was no door. There was no sheet. It was just the bushes. I don't think they're bad. The talismans.
It's got to be something to do with sleeping too, because the talismans kind of remind me of like dream catchers.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I don't know if it's like the talismans are like just nightmare deterrers.
I think that the talismans, me personally, so what he was, so when Sarah says they're laughing at Boyd for break, I think this is what it is. I just put this out in the video. You can watch my video that I just dropped, and I talked about this exact situation that happened in there, and it's specifically what they're talking about is that Boyd brought the nightmare creatures back, because that like all that was all set up. And I'm telling you, it was all set up by the boy in white. He set the whole shit up purposely for the nightmare creatures to be unleashed in the town. He told them to go back to the town, to get in the tree to get away, because he didn't want them to go to the lighthouse where he hangs out at. And then he put Boyd in this place with Martin. And I believe that, I don't believe Martin's real. I'm doing a part 2 to this video, but since y'all are here with me right now, I'll give you a little bit of it. I think that Martin is the boy in white too. I think he transforms into whoever he needs to transform into at that time. I think he turned into Martin. He dropped the rope down, fake like he was captured to win Boyd's trust. Because if you look at the boy in white and you look at the way he does it, he tries to win your trust to get you to do what he does, right? So when you see them talk to Sarah, he specifically brought up Sarah's brother to her. Like, oh, your brother was right. Like, the place is angry. And that is what made Sarah trust him, because you never spoke to him before, right? That's just what it was and everything else. So when you had Martin there and everything else, and he goes to Boyd, I am I'm a Marine. I'm a Marine. So, now Boyd all of a sudden wants to trust him because he's in the military. Right, and everything else. So he would be there. Now, that's for everyone who's saying Martin was on the map. You got to look at what you've seen from what was going on in these places. You've already seen Sarah's body taken over and being forced to draw stuff. So, and when we seen people that were inside of that room handcuffed to the wall, they really weren't in that room. They were somewhere else, right? Julie and all of them were somewhere else. So it's a similar situation to that Martin could be somewhere else being tortured, laying up in the bed, but the boy in white took over his body to communicate with Boyd in order to give Boyd these worms. He gave Boyd the worms so Boyd can kill one of the creatures, which he did, and that unleashed the nightmare creature on everybody else.
Have we also looked at, Tony, if we think, like, I know we've talked about them all being in a coma, and when we pushed, what's the mom's name again?
Tabitha?
Yeah. When she got pushed through that wormhole, so to speak, and ended up in the hospital, they're like, oh, it's been like a few days. They found your body or something somewhere in the woods or whatever. I mean, it almost feels like all these people are in comas or something. And then we don't know what happens, like when you're in your like that subconscious space, all the things that could occur, dreams and nightmares start to feel like reality. You're kind of stuck in what they would call a constant purgatory state.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Groundhog's Day for you a little bit. So you're going around and around, and you keep landing at the same spot. And then, maybe as your brain is starting to like fire off a little bit more, you're in this world, things are appearing, things are starting to make sense. as you start to as you start to maybe come out of your coma, you start to have ideas of how to get out of that place. But if you're deeper in your coma and you're more so closer to death, maybe like Donna, you wouldn't have the ideas of getting out of there.
You're gonna like it there.
You're basically what do they call it? A vegetable. You're basically in a vegetable state.
If they're all in comas, then somehow they all are in some type of they're all in some type of connected state because they're all in the same spot.
Yeah.
So it still would go back to some type of technology that they're being forced into it, like some type of matrix situation where they're all plugged into the same network and all can experience the exact same things while in this place.
Yeah, that technology part, where they would be, maybe they need to get out, maybe they need to go through different levels to get out, but apparently Tabitha got out somewhere by just dying, I guess, falling, right? We didn't see her crash, we didn't see her body. But there's something that you both said just now that made me think of what Anna was asking about. What's her name? Marie? Not Marie. The fiance.
Muriel or
Marianne.
Yes. So
Whatever.
I wonder if she was
Mary.
only put in here to show us how time works over there, because she did not age much. Like whatever time passes, it's not like decades or anything,
Right.
because there's that connection. I don't remember, again, those of you who in the chat, or both of you remember how long Christy has been there, and how, if there's any clues into how much time passed. But actually we may see the same time passing. There may not be difference. She said like 6 months, you were gone 6 months. And so I wonder, she was only here to show us that the time probably potentially goes the same here and there.
Eric Rebel says Martin told Boyd not to destroy the music box. I mean, that would lean towards him being the boy in white, and then that would be that right there, and everything else, So and Purple Alze, is Sarah good or bad at both? Sarah's good. Sarah's definitely good. She's the vessel of all them getting out of there. You got to look at who's there in there. You got to look at it. You have Boyd and those people that are there. Then you have the monsters, the creatures that are chasing them. Then you have the people that are actually talking to Sarah and giving her good advice. And then you have the people that are controlling the whole system. So there's 4 groups of people there. So Sarah talks to both people in the beginning, because the people that she first talked to, they said that Sarah was the first person they were ever able to communicate with. They've never been able to talk to anyone, and that they're trapped there too. And that's what's going on. Those are the people who want to go home, she said. But then the people that she was talking to when she was in that place that was laughing at them were the people that are in control of the whole thing, that's saying, you brought that back just like we planned it, and unleashed that plague upon the town. And that's what he did, and everything else, Boyd, by bringing by going in there and bringing back the worms in his arm. And the only thing he brought back were the worms. And the worms killed the nightmare creature, which everyone thought was a good thing. But then the nightmare creature, when he got killed, that's when the bugs came out of his ass. And then that's when the nightmare started coming, right? So it was all just a setup when it was all said and done. You know what I mean, for that and everything else. So no, so that's just what it is with them and all that. Someone saying Sarah is childlike, very similar. I don't think she's childlike. I just think she's Amish-like. More than childlike.
Naive.
She's very sweet. She's extra sweet. Yeah.
Hasn't really experienced much in the world.
Yeah.
Almost like the purists, like they're speaking through maybe the purest people.
Yeah.
Hoping that those would be people you would listen to.
Yeah, and as Steph is naive would be a better thing and everything else. And the visions, I hear people talking in chat about visions. Visions came before the music box, people were getting visions since they got there. They were getting visions. I mean, you want to say Boyd didn't get a vision until he went there, but he did get a vision before he went there because he got the vision of his wife when he was in the forest with Sarah before he got there, before he got the music box and stuff, you know. So visions is hard to say exactly when they who gets them and why they get them and everything else. And all that stuff, you know. So but as for Boyd himself, he got those before. He had that vision as soon as he went in the forest with Sarah was his first vision and stuff. So that is the way it is. And again, I know I heard all you people in here talking all your other stuff and everything else, but once again, I had an expert watch the show. And when the expert watches the show, and I asked him specifically, "What's going on here?" This is what he said. So I really don't care what y'all saying. I have an expert that has backed the Don.
Tony, there's this one movie that I just saw not long ago called 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't know if you've seen any of that. At the end, the last 10 minutes, it's the aliens. It turns out that the man was not crazy. The man was not paranoid. It was the aliens.
That's
The
what
last
I
10 minutes.
When it's all said and done, you know what I mean? I've seen people in here. I've seen Real Enigma. You know what I mean? It's my man, 50 grand, and he has come in here and he said there's a shaman and there's things like that. And I heard other people say that they're elves and they're fae and all these things and they're gods. But again, let the expert tell you what it really is.
We have all sorts of stories, mythologies, legends that could be interpreted as gods, who in reality were misinterpreted extraterrestrials.
That's all it is. It's just
all day
it's just misinterpreted extraterrestrials. That's all. That's all. I understand why y'all think that. You know what I mean? But it's just misinterpreted. He told me personally. I interviewed the guy. That's what he came up with. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it goes. I can't help it if the expert agrees with me. I didn't ask him to do that. I didn't ask him to agree with me. He just did. That's just the way it goes. I can't help it. All right, we're gonna get up out of here. Let me thank Anna from Red Lipstick Club for joining us and everything else.
It was so nice seeing Anna. I really missed you too. You have to get a stream together soon.
I know.
Both of
Me and LMR haven't been on a stream in so long. And I'm like, I was just thinking that day, I was like, oh my God, we had like way too much fun.
We do. I mean, I have the cards sitting right here too. Anytime. So whenever anyone's ready to get on there, we definitely get on. I want to thank everybody in the chat who's rocking with us, and LMR as always. Thank you for coming here and rocking with us and everything else. And I will see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad program. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace.
And stay sexy.